So today at our straw bale project, we are installing sheep's wool insulation. So this is insulation in the form of a bat, so a rigid, pre-cut, pre-shaped insulation that is made to fit in between your wall studs. And it is made from sheep's wool, so all natural. It's over 95% just sheep's wool, and like a little bit, like less than 5% of a biodegradable poly, just to hold it in place. But this stuff is amazing. It's fun to work with. It's so nice to work with compared to all other insulations that we've ever worked with before. You don't need to wear gloves or masks or anything to work with this. It's just sheep's wool. I mean, if you're allergic to lanolin, you might want to wear gloves and a mask because it does still have the lanolin in it. But if you're not, then it's great moisturizer for your hands. But we're loving using this natural insulation project. In the rest of our straw bale house, we have locally grown bales of straw as our insulation, and we left this one north wall here as a double stud framed wall so that we could put all of our utilities into that wall, like our plumbing. So we don't have straw bale there, but we wanted to use something that was natural and non-toxic. So we found this. Actually, this was sheep's wool that was left over from some other builder, and I found it online. They had extras, and so I drove and picked it up. We're super excited to get to use it here. There's so many benefits in using sheep's wool as an insulation. First of all, just the ease of installation and not having to worry about toxic fibers or the smell or that itchy feeling that you get when you work with fiberglass or other insulations. Sheep's wool actually has several other benefits besides just being a good insulation. It actually works to remove some toxic chemicals from your air, so it improves your air quality. One of those is formaldehyde. Like the University of Texas actually did this study to see what materials were best at scrubbing formaldehyde from the air, and they found that sheep's wool was actually one of the best projects to do that. It has something to do with the structure of the fiber of the wool, and it actually can just absorb formaldehyde from the air. A lot of products that are used in construction contain formaldehyde, and our federal government even declares formaldehyde a known carcinogen or something that can possibly cause cancer. So we try not to use it in our builds, but I just learned that even cooking, you can sometimes produce formaldehyde. So by having something in your home that helps to absorb those toxins is just a great benefit. So sheep's wool insulation is also an environmentally friendly product if you're worried about that. It's made from a renewable resource because sheep regrow their wool every year. And so it doesn't have to go through a lot of high intensity heat to create the product like you would with mineral wool or fiberglass insulation. It's sort of only one process. You shear the sheep and then it's transported and made into these bats, maybe two processes, I guess, as opposed to fiberglass or a lot of other insulations that probably go through 3 or 4 factories to become the product that they are. This particular brand of sheep's wool does get their sheep wool from New Zealand, so that is traveling, quite a distance to get here to the United States. But I haven't done the comparison on carbon footprint to see how it compares to others, but I know other people have, and I think it's a lot lower than certainly a foam insulation, but like most fiberglass insulations. So this insulation just is basically friction fit. It's to cut the size of the space between our studs, and just the way that the material is made, it just sort of like fits in by friction next to these studs. So we didn't have to do any sort of attachment to this. It just sort of fills up the cavity so nice and fits in perfectly between these studs, so it's really easy. In terms of cutting the insulation, we're just using an insulation knife that you can buy at a big box store. We're just using scissors and utility knives, so it's really easy to cut and work with to work around obstacles like electrical lines or wires.